What oscillating multi-tool should you get? And which one offers the best deal and which one offers the best value? Well, you're gonna learn in this video. This video is going to be dedicated to making sure you make the best purchasing decision when it comes to oscillating multi-tools, the best purchasing decision in your life, or maybe in a very long time. Now, when it comes to oscillating multi-tools, there is a difference between price and value. There are very, very cheap ones that you can go find at, let's say, Walmart, that can be $60 or in that range, and then it doesn't work the way you want it. And then there are others that can be in the hundreds of dollars. There's all kinds of types of oscillating multi-tools that have different uses, but which one is best for you? And for starters, let's just go with battery-powered multi-tools and obviously corded multi-tools. These are cordless, another terminology, but when it comes to which one you should get, the main thing or main metric you should go for and you should look after when you're shopping at Lowe's, Home Depot, or different stores is the oscillations per minute. Now, with oscillations per minute, the corded multi-tools generally have more power than battery-powered ones, but with corded multi-tools, this one, for example, you could see from the brand name right here, this multi-tool is very popular in terms of its versatility, and another thing as well is that it's angled. So when you're making a cut, especially when you're cutting, let's say, a door frame and you're on the floor and you want to cut at an angle like this without necessarily damaging the blade or being in an odd space or even making a weird cut, with this multi-tool right here, as you can see, it's flat right here, it's angled, and you could put your hand underneath and you don't have to make a bad cut with the oscillating multi-tool. But aside from that, in terms of power, this one right here has about 21,000 oscillations per minute, while this one could have a maximum of 19,000 oscillations per minute. So an extra 1 to 2,000 on this. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that with cordless multi-tools, the one thing that you do have to take into consideration is when you're buying the tool, you have to make sure to get the battery for it as well. Many stores, they just offer the tool, and then when you open the box, there's no battery. That's because you got to buy the battery, which is sold separately. Now, with this multi-tool specifically, the only downside to it is that you would have to constantly have your finger on the trigger for it to work. Now, with this multi-tool, for example, this one right here, you can just turn it on and you don't have to constantly have your finger on the trigger. Could be a pro or a con depending on the type of job you are doing, or it really depends on the person. Personally, if you don't want to have your finger constantly on the trigger and you want it sort of like this one where you could just and not have to have your finger on it, then that's something to have in mind. Another factor to consider is attaching the blade. Now with this one, for example, this brand right here, you can just press onto this and detach the blade. This blade specifically, the attachment is for this specific tool, but we'll get on that in a little bit about the blades. But as far as attachment, you can just, on this tool, attach the tool like this, push the button, let go. You can even tighten it right here, just righty-tighty, lefty-loosey to tight. Make sure the blade is securely onto the tool. Now, if you don't want to take the time and do all that, there's also obviously this tool right here. You can just press down and that's it. And you just press down on here, insert the blade, and that's it. Now with the other tool that we used in our past videos, you'd have to pull up the handle, and we have a whole tutorial on that on a Ryobi multi-tool specifically. There are different attachment styles for the blades, so that's another thing to consider as well when choosing an oscillating multi-tool. Now we're going to talk about blades. Now, in most multi-tools, they come with standard blades, and even in stores when they sell the blades individually, they're not the blades that you would want to make efficient cuts through wood, siding, or other materials, or even metal specifically. These blades that usually are sold in stores will not cut very well. This one right here is our high strength carbide oscillating tool blade. This one can cut through wood, screws, sheetrock, steel sheetrock screws, fiber cement, siding, sheetrock, plastic, all kinds of materials. This can be found on our website. Obviously this is not really going to cut anything. Now this tool blade right here is supposed to be used for wooden nails, but in our past video, we used this to cut through one nail, and after one nail, the teeth were basically destroyed. This blade is rendered very ineffective, and this is what typically is sold in stores. But with our high strength carbide oscillating tool blade, this will definitely complete the job. If you could check out our past videos, this same exact tool blade can be used for cutting all kinds of materials. This will be recommended along with your oscillating multi-tool of choice if you really want to get a good job done. Now another thing for the blades on the oscillating multi-tool is that you need to, most oscillating multi-tools have universal fitting. This blade, for example, is a universal fit and can fit this blade. Now tools such as Bosch or Fien or Fine, whatever pronunciation you name it, those tools you would need a star lock attachment on the blade for it to work. This blade, a universal fitting, would not fit a tool like that unless if you have a special adapter for it. But in most cases, you would need a star lock blade to fit on the star lock tool. Now, if that is inconvenient for you, most stores don't really have blades that have the star lock fitting, and you need to consider that as well if you want to shop for blades and accessories for the oscillating multi-tool. If you're going with brands such as Bosch or Fien or Fine, whatever pronunciation you call it, those have a star lock attachment, and some attachments don't really have that, and then you'd have to go with a different tool instead if you want to fit most of the blades on your tool.